United States carried out strikes inside Venezuelan territory for the first time amid months of escalating tensions. Explosions rocked Venezuela's capital, Caracas, accompanied by the sound of aircraft overhead and thick black smoke rising across parts of the city. Explosions were also reported in the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira, according to the Venezuelan government.
So what do you think about Maduro? What do you think about them taking him out and the whole purpose of it all?
Well, from what I've heard, and straight from Trump's mouth, is that he is doing it for oil. He has straight up just said that they're going to go take over and take the oil. They're going to set up companies and set up a whole oil system to take their oil.
Do you know the history of oil in Venezuela? Like, why are
From
they
what
the
I
superpower?
hear, it's the biggest oil or whatever in
The
South.
biggest oil reserve on Earth.
Yeah.
Guess who set up their entire oil system, their entire extraction, their engineering, all of the different refineries and everything that exists in Venezuela? Guess who set it up?
I don't know.
The U.S. The U.S. is the only reason why Venezuela even became an oil-rich country. The U.S. set it up in the 60s or something, long time ago. I can't remember what the dates are, but long time ago. And the U.S. is the reason why Venezuela is even an oil reserve country. So what Maduro was doing was he was a big money laundering, drug laundering, terrorist sponsoring dictator. The left doesn't have a position. They only have opposition. And what that means is the left is now like trying to say that Maduro is some type of person that we should protect. Maduro is like one of the worst dictators. So like 77 days ago, they were like, no kings, no dictators. And now they're saying, well, we shouldn't be touching that dictator, that king. We shouldn't be grabbing him from that country. But guess what's funny is the liberals might be saying that here in America, but all of the Venezuelans around the entire world, they are all cheering and they're all praising Trump for what he did because Maduro was a really bad dictator. Not only was he a bad dictator, but he made it so that he was president and dictator of that country for the last 25 years. So nobody could actually get rid of him.
From what I hear, it's not all. That's what the right side wants you to think, that all Venezuelans are for this, that they love the U.S., they love.
Well, did you see all of the celebrations? The entire New York Times Square is just full of Venezuelans celebrating Maduro going into... Okay, so think about this. Even all the Democrats, before Trump even got in, they were all very much against Maduro. And they were all saying that he was this bad dictator, killing his own people, genocide on this, terrorist organizations, all these different things. Okay, that's what the left was saying before Trump got in. And now that Trump's in and Trump actually did something about it, guess what the left is saying? The exact opposite. Isn't that funny how that works? Which is why they don't have a position, they only have opposition.
No, that's what they want.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden both said it directly that Maduro is a very bad dictator that is killing his own people.
I'm not saying that he's not a bad guy. He definitely is a bad guy, and we're not denying that he's a terrible guy and has done terrible things. But it's the way that Trump did it. You can't just go in there, take him out without asking for permission or
sure he can.
Or talking to the UN, talking to the Congress, because he didn't talk to Congress or anyone about doing this. He just did it.
Thank goodness he didn't. It is so good that he doesn't talk to Congress. He didn't talk to Congress about the Iran thing. But guess what? It turned out perfect. So perfect that even Congress didn't go after him for it because it was such a perfect plan. And so this Maduro thing was exactly the same too, because he does not need Congress's approval to take out somebody that had an indictment for federal charges against him. So that's why this is actually 100% legal.
Well, it's not 100% legal. It's a gray area. That what he did is kind of a gray area in terms of what's legal or not.
Ask yourself this: is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It's good and bad. I think
that it's good. Or how is it bad?
It's bad because he's doing it just for the oil. He doesn't care about the drugs or what Maduro's actually doing. He's doing it for the oil, which is terrible to me.
No, actually, he's doing it. He's killing two birds with one stone, right? Because he's actually getting rid of the drug thing. So if you think he's not getting rid of the drugs, then blowing up those boats would be just fake AI. No, he's actually getting rid of the drugs. So in reality, yes, he is actually getting rid of the drugs. That's one of the biggest drug trades in the world. He was literally in charge of the drug cartels that were doing these things.
But if he really cared about the drugs, he wouldn't be pardoning Juan Orlando Hernandez.
So it's funny that is. So you guys and a lot of the people out there want to say that he is pardoning a drug cartel guy, right? That's the argument. But let me show you this. This is what Trump actually said when it came to pardoning and what his excuse was. So explaining the pardon to reporters on November 30th, Trump said, I was asked by Honduras, many of the people of Honduras, they said it was a Biden setup. The people of Honduras really thought Hernandez was set up and it was a terrible thing. He was the president of the country and they basically said he was a drug dealer because he was the president of the country. And they said it was a Biden administration setup. And I looked at the facts and I agreed with them. The next day at the White House, Levitt was asked how Trump's defense of Hernandez differs from the administration targeting of Venezuela's Maduro, whom the administration has called the leader of a drug cartel. Levitt responded, you're cherry picking the president's statement a little bit yesterday, as he also said yesterday the people of Honduras have highlighted to him how the former president Hernandez was set up. This is a clear Biden over prosecution. He was the president of this country. He was in the opposition party. He was a Republican. Okay, he was a conservative. He was opposed to the values of the previous administration, and they charged him because he was president of Honduras. And so if you look at what Trump said, he's not actually pardoning a drug cartel president. What he's doing is he's pardoning somebody that should not have been in jail. Now, you can argue both ways, one way or the other, but that's how Trump sees it, which is why it's very different from getting Maduro, who everybody on earth knows that he's
So it's
just really bad guy.
So it's just a he said, she said thing where
Sure,
he said that it's a conspiracy, but it could be the other way around. Trump could just be.
But you're wondering why he would pardon Hernandez over Maduro. And the difference is that Hernandez is not a drug cartel guy, according to Trump. And so what he's doing is he's not pardoning a drug cartel guy. Maduro is an actual drug cartel leader. And so he's very different from Hernandez in Honduras. There's a big difference between the two of them. And so getting Maduro out is actually very good for not only the economy of Venezuela, but for the people of Venezuela. Because if you listen to any of the testimonies from any of the Venezuelans today, they are all praising Trump and they are all very happy to get Maduro out. And if you think about it logically, that country was a piece of shit. Like, it was one of the worst countries in the world. Everybody knows this.
But if the oil wasn't there, what do you think that Trump would have done this?
Well, oil has obviously some ties to it. There is obviously a big reason. So there's lots of reasons why we're going there. Oil is one, but also China and Russia were both trying to get in and take over Venezuela, just like what they were trying to do with the Panama Canal. Okay, so these are very important strategic places in our backyard. Okay, they were avoiding all the sanctions that we had on Venezuela through China and through Russia and Cuba. And so all these communist countries were trying to take over that whole region, the whole Latin American region, which we can't allow happening, because if they start taking over those regions, it gives them a better strategic point to go against the U.S., because obviously they don't like the U.S. So in reality, he did it with...
It's not so much just them taking over to go against the U.S., it's them taking over to take the oil.
Yeah, well, everybody wants the oil. Everybody on Earth wants the oil. The U.S. would be very smart to take hold of all of that, right? It makes sense as a powerhouse in the entire world that it's a good thing for us to control something compared to allowing China or Russia control it. It's better for the U.S. to have control of anything that's near us, both strategically for military reasons and for economic reasons.
But you don't think it would be more diplomatic to actually talk to everyone and talk to the UN, or at least try to discuss things
You
with
really
other
haven't.
countries.
You really think the Maduro would talk to the U.S.? You know what the U.S. tried to do? So Trump
No,
gave Maduro
I'm
a
not
bunch.
saying with Maduro. I'm just saying like with the UN and with other countries, be like, hey, everyone, we know everyone knows
Oh yeah,
this
peace, world peace,
terrible.
right?
Why don't can we create a plan to go and do this diplomatically instead of just doing it without asking anyone?
What do you think Trump has been doing for the past year?
I don't know. Has he?
Diplomatically, it's very obvious.
I haven't heard any
Everything he's
news
done.
about him trying to talk to people about getting this situation resolved. Venezuela specifically.
Yeah, we know the last 4 months he has been telling Maduro, okay, look, you have to either do this or do that. And if you don't do that, we're going to come and take you out. And Maduro actually went on TV and he said, come and get me. And guess what we did? We went and got him. Like there
Well,
are
and that
lots and lots of times where Trump was like, okay, look, we are going to try and negotiate with you and give you an out. You could be in a different country. You could be here. You could be there. We're giving you these options. And if you don't take any of the options, we're going to come in and get you because we have an indictment against you. We have warrants against you. We have all these different things that make this legal, which is why he was also using the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, all these different law enforcement departments to go in and get him. It wasn't just a military thing. All of these different departments were in and they knew all this was legal because they were going in as it wasn't like one department did it. Every department of law enforcement was involved in this entire thing, which is why it was so productive, so efficient, and so well done. It wasn't this thing. Here's the problem with if he were to go to Congress and say, "Hey, can I have some authority to do this?" Guess how long it would take the authority to happen? Okay, Trump knows that the Congress and politicians are completely worthless and they do absolutely nothing, and so they're just a big old obstacle that does nothing. And in this certain circumstance, it gives him the right to do it because of the certain circumstances of an indictment that has already been against him. They've already put rewards against him and all these different things. And so, yeah, why not? You do not need Congress's approval to go in and take somebody that has an indictment against them.
The only reason Trump did this was because China was going to swoop in and get it, and he skipped the law. He went around the law and went in and took over. He didn't do it with the proper routes.
Proper routes to get somebody that bad out. And do you see any Venezuelans going, oh, he should have gone the proper routes? No, all the Venezuelans are like, I'm so glad that you got him out.
That's all the right media is saying that all
Really?
Venezuelans are okay with this. There's literally, if you just Google search anything, you'll see that a ton of Venezuelans were against the U.S. and do not want the U.S. in there controlling anything.
Look at this. Let me show you this. On just
literally have
simple Google right
evidence.
here. Venezuelans worldwide celebrate as exiles react to Maduro's capture.
Yeah, that's all right.
Celebration. CNN?
Yeah,
CNN is a right wing. No,
okay.
CNN is the farthest left you can get. USA Today, reactions, Venezuela interim. All of these things are different reactions. They are all the entire. If you look at just the pictures of what they are all doing in Times Square. No,
that's all.
Okay, so do you see this right here?
In the U.S., we're going to believe.
No, this is in South Florida. This is in Times Square.
US,
this is in Venezuela. This is in Venezuela.
Okay,
look,
sure. There's
in Venezuela.
A few people in Venezuela, but you cannot prove
in Venezuela. Why would they not be? Just think about the logic of it. Look at that. And they wouldn't let him in. Okay.
ELN guerrilla suggesting they'll be resisting U.S. invasion in Venezuela.
Yeah, they're drug cartels. Really? You're going to be okay with the drug cartel?
ELN is a drug cartel?
Just think about the logic of it all, okay? If you are a Venezuelan and your country has gone to shit and your dollar isn't worth a dime and you are scrapping around in trash cans trying to get food, why would you not be okay with your president getting ripped out of your country to protect everything that your country is for?
The U.S. isn't going to do shit for Venezuela. They're just going to steal the oil from them. They're going to steal the oil and then leave.
Now, you know what's going to happen now? Everything that ever happens whenever the U.S. goes into somewhere and fixes it, because the U.S. will fix Venezuela. What they're going to do is they're going to turn that country completely around. Just watch. In the next 2 years, that country is going to be very prosperous because it's going to be a capitalist country. And that capitalist country is no longer going to be poor. It's no longer going to have all the issues that it has. Just watch it completely turn around.